I want to welcome everyone to Inner Power Training, my YouTube channel. Once again, I'm joined by Kevin Fitzgerald, who introduced me to the LifeWave Patch. And today we're going to be talking about some of the amazing benefits and interesting things related to this patch, because it's kind of mysterious until you get into it and you start wearing it and you realize how great you start to feel. I've been on it for now close to 2 months. I guess it's been about 2 months, and I'm definitely this is the glutathione patch that I wear here because I've had a problem with my throat for the past couple of years, but it's clearing up. And then I have another one, the X39 on the back of my neck. So do you have your patches on today, Kevin?
Of course I do. Yeah, I got that's my carnosine patch. And then on under my belly button, I got my X49 and I got my X39 there.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, let's tell them a little. Now, how did you get into this? Well, how did you find this company in the first place? I know you've been on it longer than me because you.
Yeah, I've been on it 4 months, and it's like a lot of things in life. The universe will bring to us what we need, right? So it's all about being awake and aware enough to realize when the universe is opening doors and bringing answers to your life. So I still have scoliosis in my back, and I have mild arthritis down my entire spine, and I have degenerative disc. So my back was throbbing pain constantly, and I love to work out. But it was, I couldn't work out the way I wanted to work out because of that pain. So, but I don't like drugs. I don't do drugs. I don't take aspirin. I don't do anything for it because I really believe in a very holistic protocol. So a buddy of mine basically was just calling me out of the blue just to catch up with me. And I told him about my problem. And he said, you should try the patches. And it's really about finding people who, especially if you're over 50, you're in pain, or you understand the importance of stem cells, to get on the patch and see immediate results. So with me, I got on the patches, and within 30 minutes, not 3 days, not a week, in 30 minutes, my pain went from an 8 to a 2. And now I can do what I want to do physically in the gym. So it was a game changer for me.
Now, that's what's so fascinating about this, because most nutritional products or health products or alternative products, you don't get relief that fast. But I have another friend, George, who had a terrible pain in his thumb. He put the patch on, went to bed, and woke up and the thumb didn't hurt, plus his back didn't hurt anymore. So it works so fast. Can you explain why you think that is? It's just amazing, because so many people are telling stories like this about getting results almost immediately.
Well, let's talk about the ancients, right? In ancient Lemuria and ancient Atlantis, what did they use to heal in their healing temples? They used crystals, right? Crystals amplify light, and they can amplify sound. So sound and light healing. So these patches, I'll actually show your audience one. This is what they look like. They have nanocrystals in them. So they're not a transdermal patch. There's no drugs in them. There's no chemicals. There's nothing going through your skin. What these patches do is they reflect back the infrared light that your body naturally emits. So based upon a certain proprietary, I don't know what that proprietary technology is, but it's crystalline based. It has different effects on your body. For instance, this one, the X39, which I wear, actually increases the stem cells that are responsible for muscle development. And I'm 60 years old, and I'm stronger at 60 than I was at 21 because I'm wearing these patches. And it's all natural and holistic. Again, nothing is going into your skin. It's not transdermal. It's simply using nanocrystal light technology to increase your body's light quotient. That's where the healing is.
Because we are really light beings. Our bodies have light. Everything has light. And
yeah, I mean, we're energy, right?
Right. We're
energetic beings, and so we are light. And look at it from an esoteric standpoint. What happens when you raise your consciousness? What happens to your body? Your DNA starts to emit what? More light. That's why if you look at sacred texts, you see the halo around prophets, you see the halo around saints. What that is symbolic of is enlightenment, where they've activated more of their DNA because of their ascended consciousness and getting them aligned with their I am or authentic self. So I believe these patches are actually helping us retain our light, and they are divinely inspired. That's why I'm so passionate about it.
Yeah, because this guy, David Schmidt, the CEO and founder of it, I think it's so interesting that he had government contracts to help the Navy SEALs. I mean, you wouldn't normally think the government would go into that kind of realm, but I guess they really wanted to help the SEALs who do a lot of physical work get off
Well,
of.
even now in our community, our awakening community that I know you're a big part of, you know, Michael Jaco has the Awakening Your Intuition, the Intuitive Warrior book, and he has a podcast, and he's a Navy SEAL. He was on SEAL Team 6.
Right.
And he's a distributor of LifeWave products also, and a huge believer in the technology that they offer. And he approaches it from a esoteric standpoint and from a physical standpoint, because being a Navy SEAL, and he's like 64 years old, he's in incredible shape. And he'll tell you that a lot of these LifeWave patches are enabling him to do things that otherwise he wouldn't be able to do, because they're increasing our energetic light quotient, thus our strength.
Yeah, well, I noticed with the X39, which I started wearing right away when I first got the product 2 months ago, I started feeling more energized, sleeping better. And then I got into the glutathione, which I put here on my neck because I've had a problem with my voice. And it's amazing. I mean, it's the first thing that in 2 years, I've tried echinacea, I've tried, you know, all kinds of things. And this is
let's talk about that for a minute, because Harvard just came out with a study that said over 90% of all illnesses are caused by what? Inflammation.
Right.
So the glutathione patch lowers your body's what? Inflammation.
Right. And
that's what you want to deal with this stuff at the cause, right? That's huge. That's a game changer. And why are so many people in pain? Because they have inflamed nerve endings. So a lot of times I'll use the glutathione patch, especially if I have a really intense workout, because I know my body's inflamed because I'm breaking down the muscle.
Now talk about the one you have on your arm. What's it called?
This is carnosine. I use this on days I'm going to work out. So after this podcast, I'm going to hit the gym. And basically, it enables intracellular functioning to be optimized. So I want my H2O, I want my cells to be optimized as far as vibrationally. I want to have proper intracellular hydration. I want proper nutrients coming in and leaving. So the carnosine patch helps with that. So if you're an active person, if you're in the gym, if you like to garden, if you want to just walk or hike, then, and if you can't because of arthritis or inflammation, or you can't bend over or raise your grandchildren up, then you want to get on the glutathione patch, and probably the X39 patch is what I'd recommend.
And the people who have arthritis and pain, this is the Ice Wave patch. And there's 2 patches in there in the packet that you use simultaneously, right?
Yeah, so the Ice Wave is a 2-patch protocol. It's the only 2-patch protocol. There's 7 different patches that do different things. The king of all patches is the X39, which actually activates and optimizes your body's own stem cells. So I want to make this clear. The patch does not deliver stem cells to the body. Some people say, well, where are you getting the stem cells? No. It's not an external source of stem cells. It activates and circulates and resets your body's own stem cells back to levels you had when you were in your 30s. So I always wear an X39 patch, because if you're over 50, 70% of your stem cells are not working. That's why you age. That's why you get age spots. That's why you get thin skin. That's why you lose your elastin. That's why you wrinkle. It's because your stem cells are not working properly.
Well, and this is such a simple way to do these things. Like I just watched a video the other day of a guy who spends $1 million a year to anti-age himself. And I know people get very obsessed. I mean, I have a birthday coming up next month. I'm not even going to tell you how old I am, but I was born in 1946.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, that's old in the record books, according to a lot of people. But I am convinced that if you hook into the right products, which this came into my life at just the right time, as things do, you don't have to worry about getting old. Like, but I have other friends that are my contemporaries. They might as well just go dig a hole. They're ready to go.
Well, here's the thing. If you start to identify with your age, then everything associated with that age your mind will say, okay, you have to lose vitality now, you lose bone density. This is what 60 or 70-year-old people do, right? So the first thing I tell people is don't identify with your age, identify with your spirit, which is ageless, first of all. Then understand that you can increase your body's light quotient through your consciousness, which your audience is well aware of, right? So you want to get into a vertical alignment where you can access the sacred heart or the 0-point field, because your body cells replicate every 3 to 7 years. So when you're in a vertical alignment, you're accessing energy from the eternal now moment. And that's going to replace your cells based upon their perfection. If you're still holding on to the past, and what happens, your body's saying, okay, it's time to replace my cells. And if I have a disease, then I'm going to replace the cells as they are with the disease, right? So you keep the disease. But when you say, no, I'm letting go of the past, I'm focused on the now, you're bringing in the energy of perfection. And you can replace your body with much higher vibrating cells if you understand how energy works. But again, these patches simply are enabling us to hold higher frequency and a higher light quotient by reflecting back our body's own infrared light. And based upon certain spectrums of that infrared light, it has different effects in the body. For instance, X39. When you wear an X39 patch, it reflects back light spectrum that triggers what we call the copper peptide that's responsible for your stem cell health and circulation. So what that light is doing is it's triggering that copper peptide in the body, so your body starts to secrete this peptide as if you were 30 years old. So if you can see how it's actually almost like the fountain of youth, because we're setting our stem cell activity and amount of our stem cells, we're setting them to levels that we had when we were in our 30s, when you consistently wear the patch, over like a 6 to 12 month period.
I totally believe it. I mean, I practice spiritual healing and I tell myself all the time, I'm not my body. I'm not my mind. I'm a spiritual being. But this just adds that added, as you get older, you need a little booster here and there. And this is such a natural, pleasant, non-intrusive way to add what you need as, we still have to eat. We still have to drink water every day. And
well, and think of this too. It's easy to sample. So say you have a mother, like my mother's 86 years old. Right. I put her on the pain patch instead of giving her Advil now or Aleve. So I got her off medication. If you have loved ones that are suffering from Parkinson's, joint pain, arthritic pain, even diabetic pain, autism, we have patches with testimonials that show that these patches have had some very good results with individuals having, these bodily issues, not to mention just the overall general health that they bring. So they're very easy to sample. You can just throw a couple of these in the mail to a loved one, Or if you do the business like me and you, which by the way, if anyone of your audience joins, I'll work directly with them, with you. They're easy to sample. So it's not like you're sending them a gallon of a energetic drink or a bottle of pills. These things cost, you know, the cost of a stamp to send to a loved one, and change, literally in some cases change their life. Because when people are in pain, my dad died because he was in pain and we couldn't manage his pain. We had him on morphine, we had him on everything. We could not manage his pain. If I had these patches when my father was still alive, I could have given him at least 6 to 12 more months. I know that for a fact. Because when your body's in pain, you lose life force energy. And then it's like, check me out, right? You know, you just don't want to live when you're in constant pain. So this can change people's lives. That's what they have to understand.
Well, and another benefit, like if people wanted to sign up on the link below and work with us, Kevin and I have both had very spiritually transformative experiences in our lives. We're both seekers who have been on the path. And, you know, living in this time of great change and great awakening, it's so important to find like-minded people that you can connect with that are kind of like, forget about that old 3D world. I don't like the way they operate, and the laws that are governing it don't work anymore in many ways. There's all sorts of new things coming along, like the LifeWave patches that you can connect to and feel like you're really doing something, and it's positive. It's got good energy.
And getting immediate results and creating abundance by helping people improve their lives.
Right.
Holistically.
Absolutely. Yeah. Without, I mean, who wants
without drugs, without chemicals.
Yeah. And more people are getting to the point where they'd rather find some kind of alternative. And this is so viable, even though we're not medical doctors and we're not saying we can heal people, but we're just telling people what we've seen and experienced with this. And it's pretty interesting, pretty amazing.
And it comes with a money back guarantee on your first order.
That's right.
Even if you're not satisfied, you have no risk because you get a full money back guarantee. If you don't get the result you were hoping for, just
it's in 100 countries.
Over 70 countries. Yep.
Global. Yeah. People all over the world are using them. Fascinating.
And they've been around for over a decade, so it's not a new company.
That's right. It's been tried and tested.
And there's a ton of info. I would tell your audience, go to YouTube and search LifeWave X39, because there's a ton of doctors and third-party testimonials on YouTube.
Right. And I'm hearing stories about doctors and chiropractors that are giving it to their patients to get rid of long-term pain and problems that they've had.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, this is great. Fabulous information, Kevin. Every time I think about and talk about the LifeWave patches, it just gets more and more interesting. You know,
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. Always a pleasure to share and help people.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. And people can go to the link below. And if you want to get more information from us directly, just put a message under the video that'll be posted on YouTube. Inner Power Training, and we'll get back to you. And we're doing this. Kevin does this full time, so he's very accessible. And
so if you want to do, if anyone wants to do the business part of it, it's up to them. They don't have to, but if they do, I'll be more than happy to mentor and help them.
Yes, and you are a very good mentor. I have to attest to that. You've been very, very helpful with me. You're always there when I need an answer to something. So it's not like you're signing up for something and left in the lurch. You can get the answers you need. And it's very interesting. Well, thank you, Kevin. And we will talk soon. And I hope more people find this incredible product and start using it with their friends and family even too.
All right. Love and light, everybody. Take care.
Right. Bye-bye.